Cozy. So here we are. It's a nice shadowcasty gloomy day here.
Right.
And I'm sick.
It's raining over here.
It's been raining over here.
Yeah, on and off all day. Yesterday, tomorrow.
Yeah. Over here too. Interesting. Same weather stuffs.
Yeah. Northern California, Southern California. We're not that different.
Oh my God. Are you trying to like bridge the North and the South together?
I'm trying.
Fuck that shit. We seceded, bitch. We don't want no parts of
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can pick a NorCal guy out because they'll say hella.
Yeah, you're easy to target.
Yeah.
You're like,
we stand out.
yeah, like NorCal's saying hella is like, someone of their like religion wearing their special garment. That's how we know who to discriminate against.
So, do you think that we're all like everybody's kind of connected in a way, like through social media or video games or whatever it might be? Like maybe all of our slangs will just kind of meld together in some way.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I have no clue what you're talking about.
The same slang after a while is what I'm saying, because
why don't we get into
separate anymore by
why don't we get into the topic I had? What
all right
about today?
So we're going to talk about today is let's see, just how we've matured, or just I guess the journey we've gone through as adults. It's been about 11 years for me, 12 years for you, something like that. From 18, from graduating high school to now, like
what's an adult? What's an adult anyway?
I'm just thinking 18 years old, you graduate high school, like now it's all on you. You know what I mean? So,
actually, I was 17 in college. Thank you very much.
Oh.
I'm being silly, but yeah. Because that matters.
but like from that age, when you graduated high school, to now, this is, like I said, I'm 29. I don't remember how old you are.
Well, that's a secret. I don't give out. A lady doesn't tell those things.
But I don't know. You had a year on me in college, but if you graduated when you were 17, then we're the same age. So,
why don't you just be quiet here? Oh goodness. No.
We're right at 30 is my point, and I'm just thinking just the other day, and I think about this a lot. Just the way I look at things now versus how I looked at things when I was 18, 19 years old,
That's interesting you say that, because there are things that I'm like reverting back to. Because especially like the young adult phase is almost like another teenage phase where like you're really figuring it out. Like, you're like, oh, I'm an adult now, so like you think it's this way now since you're an adult, but then like,
well, yeah, like the past 2-3 years, you've been thinking I could do this on my own, and then you actually get pushed out there and you're on your own, and you're like, oh shit. I have responsibilities now, like real ones. But
well, I don't mind that. I like having responsibilities. That's what keeps me afloat, really. But that's what the responsibilities keep me out of trouble. Right. Get more responsibilities, yeah. That's people always try to duck responsibilities. Like, why would you ever do that? Like that. That's just she in turmoil. But no, like but it is kind of like young adulthood is like a second childhood, akin to that Nas song. No, but that's a joke. But like that really is the state, because like everyone's in, like, either they don't know what to do, so they go to college, which is a terrible decision. Don't do that. No, just kidding.
You gotta be going there for a specific reason. Like, I need to go to college in order to accomplish this goal. Otherwise, you're just
like, if you're gonna be like a doctor or a lawyer or something, or even a lawyer. I mean, there's fucking lots of, but like still, unless you're like specifically there, like your specific reason why you're at school, then like then you're just like,
because for us to just turn into like
a lot of money for them to turn you into something that you're not, and like, yeah, college is retarded. Like, so if you're retarded, go to college. Like, if you're smart.
Hey, if we didn't go to college, we wouldn't have met each other. So I mean, like, good things do happen, even if you're not going to college for any specific reason.
Oh well, no, like yeah, good things happen all the time. Like, just as like, bad things happen to good people, also like good things happen to dumb people, and like they're too dumb to realize it until then one day they're like, oh shit, I should have been grateful for that. That was such a blessing. Hindsight's 2020 in the bitch.
I remember you and I just categorizing people in our class, like in stats class, like the try hard. Like, there's all we're like making up groups for people, but
I forgot about that. Yeah, we made our whole categorization, like, because there was no like evil job. Nah, we didn't fuck with that. Like, we had this whole like statistic on like the type of people that like was just completely fabricated. Like, I don't know where the fuck we came up with the shit. Like, it was.
You had to have been there, yeah. Otherwise, this just sounds ridiculous. But
we are pretty ridiculous, and I love that.
I remember that class probably better than any other class that I took in college. I remember the teacher always being
hilarious because I was always sleeping in that class. Like, I remember that class very vivid. I remember coming in there, like, it would be like the one class I went to all day. And it was in the fucking morning. I was like, I'm not going to do math in the morning. Fuck that. And I'd come in and sleep. And then, like, I'd just be like, hey, Stephen, tap me if he calls on us.
And of course, he like answers this, and then just go back to sleep, and the teacher would be pissed. But nobody else would have the answer to the question except for me and you.
Yeah. Yeah, so he had to let it go. He had to let it go because for whatever reason, our class was dumb as shit and no one ever knew the answer. And so he'd call on us. So he had to let me get away with coming in there and sleeping because I was the only one to like fucking answer questions right.
Like, Steven, wake up, fire up real quick so I can answer this for everybody. But yeah, it was either you or me. Like, if nobody else could get the answer right, you'd be like, all right, fine, one of you guys please answer the question. And he knew we weren't going to raise our hands either. We were just going to keep talking until he bugged us about something.
Yeah. Fucking jokes, man. College is a fucking joke. And yeah, everyone is like acting like they're a fucking adult, and there's all these like little kids like pretending to be adults. It's jokes. They're like, and they're telling each other like how to be an adult, like, and none of them know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, it's one person who doesn't know anything giving another person who doesn't know anything advice.
Yeah, basically, the college is like basically a big congregation of the blind leading the blind. And then they all eventually leave college and bitch about student debt. It's like, oh.
Years later, they're like us, and they realize that none of that even really mattered.
Yeah. And my whole thing, I knew that going in, and it's like, I didn't want to do it. Yeah, no. Like, the only reason my mom forced me to go to college. She's like, what the fuck? Like, what was the point of like getting good grades and getting a good SAT and shit? Like, no, you're going to college. I was like, and I just don't think that's for me. You know, like I told, you know, and then I go there, and of course, it's not for me. Right. Which you could subscribe that to. Well, you see, your mentality was that it wasn't for me. Like, no, like something like I don't know too much. I ain't claiming to be too smart, you know what I mean? But I know what I know.
I know what I like, and I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah, and I knew like
maybe I might be making more money right now if I graduated from college, but I don't know if I would have grown more in any way. If that makes any sense.
I feel like leaving college was like one of the best decisions of my life. Had I not left college, I would have successfully committed suicide. Like, I know this for a fact, because I was just like, I didn't even go to class. Like, the only time I went to class is if like you or like Chris or someone was like in one of my classes, and then and besides that, I would only go for the fucking midterms. And then I always ace that shit. So I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I still do all my own outside. I'm learning way more outside of class than I am in class, because I'm never fucking in class. Like, I'm just like wasting my time and money here. This is stupid. Well, all these other kids are fucking being indoctrinated and fucking spouting the same fucking bullshit that they learned last semester. I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You guys are all just like parrots regurgitating shit. Because they don't teach like critical thinking. You know,
critical thinking class, but it was not what I
thinking money. So philosophical thought and like actual like deep thinking isn't like something that's really perpetuated. You know, so it's all these.
You know, I took classes just for critical thinking and philosophy, and those. I mean, even when I was paying attention, none of that really stuck. You know what I mean? Like, none of that would have made sense to me then, but it makes sense now. Does that make any sense? Like, I get it now, but back then I didn't give a shit. You know?
Right. I get that. That's a lot of people say, but see, I already went in there going, because like, I did the philosophy major just because like I knew that's what I was like already into, you know? Mm-hmm. But knowing how the world works and shit, and knowing that that's not like, a viable degree monetarily. Yeah. So then that's why I did the econ shit too, even though I fucking hated it. But I know it is kind of like a.
I hated economics.
Well, an economics degree is kind of like a mallet, you know. It's it's just like, you know, you smash it, it's gonna hit something. You know, you could apply it anywhere to go get.
Well, that's why I took accounting.
Oh God. And this is a true stereotype on this. Every fucking accountant is boring as fuck. So if if you're with an accountant, if you're dating an accountant, like just know that your life is a living hell. And I'm just throwing that out there because every accountant is the most boring person in the entire world because they're into accounting.
My mom was an accountant.
Oh, but your mom's an angel, so that doesn't count. Shut up. But your mom was probably a boring angel. Your mom was probably a boring angel.
Yeah, it was awful. I did not like accounting. Not at all.
You have to think about it. Like, I mean, all angels can't be like all fun and entertaining. Like, there's got to be some boring angels out there. You know, God bless their heart. They're amazing and everything.
Well, yeah, someone's got to be an accountant, you know. Somebody has to do it.
Someone has to do the dirty work, you know. That's right. Raise the gap on trash men. They're oppressed. I recently rewatched Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'm being oppressed. I feel like
I never finished it. I never sat through the whole thing.
Really? Oh my goodness! How could you not? That is like one of the funniest movies of all time. Serious. You need to watch that whole thing.
Maybe. I got about 10 minutes in, then I wound up not finishing.
10 minutes is just the credits. That's just getting you into the mood.
I saw like the guy lost.
Remember how the credits, how they keep firing and all the credit people?
No.
Oh,
I don't. I remember a guy lost both his arms and both his legs and was still trying to fight.
Yeah. That was great.
I was like, this is dumb. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. It's the best kind of dumb. And it's really, really witty. Fucking and then like the whole thing with the European swallow versus the African swallow.
I don't know. I have to watch it over again. I think I disliked it because my dad recommended it at the time, and I was kind of being
your dad has a great taste in comedy. You need to not be so hard on your dad.
I know.
At least you have a dad, motherfucker.
Yeah. At least you have a mom.
Maybe.
Oh man. But then okay, so back to the topic.
Yeah. That actually kind of. Well, no, because that kind of does draw into our whole general topic tonight, though. Of, because just parents, because you right the whole thing you were talking about of how young adulthood and then how how it applies to what we want in relationships, right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was more just like friendships and people that you meet along the way as an adult. Relationships obviously also applies to women that you meet that come and go. That sort of thing. And what you're looking for and what you expect out of a relationship kind of changes as you grow as an adult too, I feel like I was really hard on people before, and I've grown to be a lot less hard on them, easier on them. I
think that's just because of how society is nowadays. You're not allowed to be hard on people. Everyone wants to be the victim so bad. It's if you just tell someone the truth, they're gonna go in tears, run around in tears, and have you fired. Insensitive. You're wait, I just told them the truth.
I was trying to be honest, and now you're mad at me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Said anything? I don't know. But yeah, like I don't know. I've grown more open-minded, I suppose. Just like letting people be themselves instead of judging them for every little thing that they do.
Oh yeah, I definitely let everyone be themselves, and I don't even judge. But that but that won't shake me from staying true to who I am. Because a friend and I, we were joking about this. I don't remember our exact conversation, but we came about basically saying, I'm my open-mindedness is what brought me to be so close-minded. And it's because I've learned better, and because everyone wants to be like, oh, you got to be accepting of all things and stuff, and everything's good and shit. When no, everything's not good. Like this is this way, that's that way, and there's grace there's grace relations to everything, and within that, still like this is this and that is that, and when people try to conflate them, I'm like no, and they're like, oh, that means you're being closed-minded. I was like, no, I don't judge you for what you want to do. I don't I'm not gonna stop your free will, but if you're gonna tell me that that's right, no, you can't change, you can't control what I think. I think that's I think we're living in a way where closed-minded, it's almost trying to be flipped on what actual open-mindedness is. Because open-mindedness is if you don't agree with something, but then you're still able to give love to that.
Yeah, understand what the other person thinks, even if you don't.
Yeah. Whereas now it's oh, you don't think this is cool too? Well, then that's closed-minded. And it's what? No. You know what I mean?
No, I don't have to agree with you. Me being open-minded is just, just me listening to you explain.
Yeah. Me being able to listen with you, care with you, even though I don't agree. That's open-mindedness. And people always try to fool people these days. If you don't think that, oh my God, you're just this closed-minded bigot. And it's no, that's bullshit.
I mean, there's got to be opinions that you had back when you were, fresh out of high school that you wouldn't agree with now, right? I mean, there's ways that your mind, you change your mind on things, I'm sure.
Well, because going into that of meeting people and relationships and stuff, I feel like every person you meet, well, I think a lot of people don't realize their missed opportunities, and that is just cherishing the people that God brings into your life, because you never know how they'll affect their life, even if they're going to be in your life for a month or a year or 20 years. Still, they're in your life. So
some person you just bump into randomly at the store or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it may just be a random conversation with some dude who I'll never see again that I bump into at the store. But still, I've bumped into him at the store. So I'm given this chance where I could have a conversation with him. I could learn from him. I could grow with him. We grow together by bouncing our thoughts and ideas or whatever with each other, right? So dude, everything, that's the thing, not to be too serious about it, but every single thing in your life matters. Whereas I think as when you're younger, you kind of have at least I did, more of a mind state of this is what matters to me, so I think this is what matters, and you kind of miss out on things because of that, because you're just in your narrow-mindedness of this is what matters, whereas
I think that's what maturing is just realizing that or becoming more open-minded and realizing that there's other people with other needs, no, just because something's important to you doesn't mean that it's important to everybody else. And
right, exactly.
learning that takes years, apparently. You have a child and they don't understand anything outside of their own little bubble, their own little world, you know.
Well, like, especially as millennials, man, we were brought up to be so self-centered, you know. Well, like not that
there's that sort of behavior with their kids now, and they baby it instead of knocking it out, because that's part of the problem. You know, the sooner we mature and learn that, we're a small part of something way bigger, the sooner we start working towards something that is important versus, worrying about everything that's just important in our little world.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, because you never know how it's gonna shape another thing, it's and it's funny, to like, and also like to backtrack a little on what is it, not to knock on self-centeredness, because that is important, but to a degree, everything in its balance, because like I have this joke yeah, of course I'm self-centered, because if I centered myself around anyone else, that would be very unhealthy. You know what I mean? Even say I think Kobe Bryant is a great basketball player, but if I centered myself around his life, you know what I mean? I'm like just stalking Kobe Bryant everywhere. That would be very unhealthy. I wouldn't grow as a person. Kobe would have to get a restraining order. It'd be really bad. Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean?
People doing that, yeah.
Yeah, no, so you need that self-centeredness as like a grounding point, but you also have to realize that, in lieu of something like Brother Ali said, of like how a sword can't make its own handle. It takes another's eye to see ourselves fully, like no one is like just complete within themselves, which is all this new agey bullshit of just like, oh, you need to respect my worth because I'm so awesome. And it's like, well, yeah, you are, but only because of other people. You know what I mean? That's the it's like yes, but whereas there's this there's this common trend now of like, oh well, we're all gods, we're all just like awesome, and it's like, yeah, not quite. You actually kind of fucking suck without God, but you think that you're that perfect righteousness, but you go ahead and do that.
I'll see girls with like Queen on their written on their purse, or Queen of what?
Well, I'm the queen of me. Like, really? Are you a sovereign nation now? Because I'm pretty sure you belong. On your passport it says American. But wait, you don't even have a passport, so you're not even allowed to leave these. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you remember where we're at?
Yeah. We had a quick technical difficulty there. The NSA wiretapped us because we were talking about sovereignty. So if you associate with us now, just know listening to this podcast makes you a terrorist. So hide your guns, hide your wives. But yeah, kings and queens, man. Yeah, everyone thinks they're a god nowadays.
That's where we were.
Yeah, oh, man. They figured it out, man. They're the god of this universe. So
it's so funny because we're so small, we like. And in the big picture, we really have no effect on anything. But we think we're so special.
We do. We have no effect on everything, but that's why we have an effect on anything, because everything's so small. It's like
Right.
Like the microcosms fit into the macrocosm, right? But
it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, the
New Age concept. I was gonna say that this whole New Age concept of that everyone's a god is so ridiculous. Because it's like, why would you be here then if like you're a god? You chose to like like, why aren't you in heaven, motherfucker? like, what's wrong with you?
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man. What do you think heaven is, if there is a heaven?
It's the marriage, man. It's the corporate bride. No, for real, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking of us like lately. I just had this conversation with somebody else recently where I think of us because I was watching these videos on the 10 dimensions or 11 dimensions that people theorize about. I'm like, maybe we're just on level 3 and we're trying to level up to level 4, get to time, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people have theorized about that. You know, multi-dimensions, multiverses, parallel universes, and like one of my friends had suggested that basically, like, after, like, if we succeed in this life, you know, quote unquote succeed, like, and we move up, you know, if we stay righteous, you know, with God, then like basically then we become gods, and we're like granted our own like universes to dominion over, and like we get to become, you know, the gods of our own universe, and you know, like.
But I feel like level 4, you're not even quite a god yet. Well, I feel like once you pass level 3, you know, 3 dimensions, and you go to level 4 and you're in time, you're still not a god yet. You just you're able to see things from a different perspective. But, you know what I mean? Like you're not looking at things based on time anymore, because time doesn't really mean anything anymore once you get to the 4th dimension.
Well, that would be a God, because God exists outside of time. Like, you know, like the whole concept of God creating the universe in 7 days. Well, what is a day? Because there's no sun, you know. And
yeah,
like,
what's the day to somebody who's not on Earth? Because it can't possibly be the same with no sun that you're spinning around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I'm like, hey, Jesus is coming soon, man. Well, shit, man, what's soon? Because God's days could have been a long fucking time. You know what I mean? And you know, the whole, if you look at it, like the history of like astronomy and stuff, even like you know, like when Galileo made his breakthroughs and stuff like that, like because like if you look back in like Old Testament times, right? You know, you have these guys who are living for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's like, were they really, like, you know, maybe they were hundreds and hundreds of years, but they were just calculating time different. You know what I mean? like what they called, you know, 100 years is like 100 weeks. You know, like maybe they actually had really short lifespans.
Right.
Yeah, you know, but because like, you know, of course I'm talking in, you know, the book of Genesis there. You know, because obviously then because like after Abraham and stuff, you know, he got the covenant, but then all the children, you know, like no one ever lived that long again. Like, you know, Abraham, you know, they said he lived like 1,000 some years or something like that, or I don't remember what it was, something ridiculous, and like like what, people just stop living that long all of a sudden. Like, that nigga has some bad sperm, yo. No, like, real talk though. Like, so yeah, you know, there's these variables, because like if you look too, like I feel like Genesis is one of the most metaphorical books up until you get to the covenant, which is, you know, because the reading gets very different right there, and it's like, no, look, okay, now here is the promise of God. you know, it's like, wait, what? Because before it was like these very like you can tell it's very like allegorical type phrasings, you know, like, and then there was man and woman, like what are you talking about? You know, there's, you know, if you looked at it from like if you try to look at it from like a story standpoint, like, if, you know, it's very non-descriptive, and like there's a lot to be left to describe. So like you know, like that these are concepts, you know, because like just by the way it's written and how it keeps going through that, like it's so funny because the book of Genesis is like really this huge circle of where it's like you know, it keeps repeating of like God's like, hey, trust me, like I'll show you the right way, and then humans are like, nah, fuck that. Fuck what you say. And then like shit gets all bad for them, and then God's like, all right, I give you mercy anyways, and then like, look, here you go. And then like, and then they come to God, like, and then you know, and then the cycle starts with their offspring, and you know, and then their offspring's like, yeah, I'll be righteous, and then God's like, all right, yeah, you want to be righteous? Here's the way. And then they're like, nah, if I want to do things my own way, and then like then shit gets fucked up, and like, so bringing that back to point, I think that's kind of like young adulthood, where, you know, we kind of branch off into the world and we're like, yeah, our parents were stupid, I know the way, and then we fall for like the same, like, you know, stupid shit that of the world, because the world's just fucking stupid. And then
yeah, well, that's part of living though, is just, I mean, like, you're gonna go through the same mistakes. The part of it is just because you think you know better when you really don't. And that's part of growing up. I think, you know, you got to make those certain mistakes, otherwise you'll never.
I think that's part of the maturity thing of you know, taking those chances to make those mistakes. Whereas I think there's a big problem nowadays with, you know, a lot of people, you know, like rather than actual social justice, you know, we have these quote unquote social justice warriors who, like, you know, they want the accolade and everything without doing the due diligence of like getting their hands dirty. And it's like, hey, like, I know what's right. And then they want to, like, you know, moral scream at everyone, and without, you know, finding out to make those mistakes. Like, no, like, go fuck up really bad, you know, live some life, and you'll see, like, no, that's not how things are. Like, there's a reason why, like everyone can't be wrong all the time, and everyone can't be right all the time. You know what I mean? There's a reason why.
And a lot of these justice warriors are, like, you know, college kids, and that comes back to this point. It's like, you know, look at how much I've matured over the past 11 years, since being 18 years old, and it's hard for me to even take a college kid seriously. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you hear them and you're like, oh my god, you baby, you're a kid. You know what I mean? No, seriously, like, not in like a condescending way, though, but like, and like I earnestly, like, think that you're gonna bring so much to this world because you're so passionate, but like,
right, yeah,
I don't think I'm talking about the good one who, like, you know, they're really trying to make a difference, but they, you know, their heart's in the right place, but like, they're not taking the time.
18 years old, they don't have any life experience yet.
Well, the problem is a lot of these things. There's now this huge mob mentality of like, this is the right way, so they don't take the step back and be like, oh well, like let me listen before I say what the right way is. When you know what I mean, like, because anyone, like on Soul's new album, he is saying how like anyone holding a map for you of where to go, like that's a map to nowhere fast. You know, like. There's a lot of fools. There's a lot of fools captains out there, and like, yeah, when there's these huge groups to be a part of, when there's a very strong lack of purpose in our society due to capitalism. I know people are gonna parade me for that one just because the almighty capitalism. You can't say anything bad about it. Like, no, it's not a perfect system. And one of its huge imperfections is that there's no it's a whip and a checkbook. It's like, here, do this, like work for us or you fucking starve. You know what I mean? It's where it's not this benevolent free market, and that creates a great sense of lack of purpose. And so because of that, people are starving for that purpose. So like they're, that makes these, these righteous marches very appealing, when really they're just being hijacked anyways for, by the powers that be already anyway. Like they're just using them to hijack them to implement these policies for further oppression. Yet people believe they're the ones who's going to bring them out of oppression. So.
Yeah, but everybody needs to feel needed somehow.
It's great to feel needed, isn't it?
I mean, we all fall into it. I'm a human being. I go through it, but I'm aware of it.
I was thinking about this. I don't remember how far back this was, maybe a month ago, but I had posed this question to my Instagram followers. And the poll was like very split, like almost like right down the middle of do you need to be wanted or do you want to be needed? And I think that's a very integral distinction that really in everything we do, we need to kind of take into account of like, where am I falling in line with on this particular thing? You know what I mean? Because that really changes like what we're going to be getting out of it and the way we should go about getting that.
And that sort of question can go back to how I've treated relationships in the past and why I'm probably single now. Because I want I always go for the want to be needed sort, but then it gets to a point where it's like, why do you need me so bad? Why?
Oh, you're one of you're a catch-22 case. They give it to you, and then you're just like, no, I want the. You're like you're like the motherfucker. You're trying to make them break up with you. I've been like.
It didn't work, and so then it's like, well, I guess they'll just have to wait until they realize that this is a bad idea.
I was listening to someone, I forgot who it was a bit ago, who had made a joke about that. Like, yeah, like come on, like, was it on the Daily Show? I don't know, but it was like, come on, let's go to the club. And like, nah, I don't want to go to the club. And then he's like, oh, all right, let's stay home. Like, oh, why don't you ever want to go out?
I feel like I've heard that before too.
Yeah. I think I saw that on the Daily Show, which is funny because I don't watch that show anymore now because they're like, they don't even try to like be nuanced about their like just very strong bias. Like. Because when that show was with Jon Stewart, it used to be, it had a nuanced balance of just like making fun of everybody.
Like, look,
That's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. And it was great. But now it's just like so like left pandering that it's like really like disgusting to watch. You know, it's like, okay, it's like it's not even funny. Like you're just pandering all the fucking time now.
Yeah, it was funny when I didn't know which side you were on. You know, that made it funny when you're just talking shit about both sides. That was entertaining.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because it's not like a real news station. Like, so like, you know, you want to
agenda is apparent, then it's not funny anymore. I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be comedy. That's the whole thing. If I want like just like to know like, all right, this is geared like toward the left, then I'm gonna watch like MSNBC or something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna watch freaking
CNN.
You know, Rachel, whatever her name is. Or like if I want something like just geared toward the right, then I'm gonna watch Fox News. You know what I mean? Like, but like for comedy, like what are you doing? like stop telling me how to think. I
know, and when movies, TV shows, anything, whenever I'm trying to watch something just for pure entertainment, I don't want you to have an agenda behind whatever you're trying to show me. You know what I mean? It's like I just want to be entertained. That's it. Don't try to change my mind.
Are you not entertained, Stephen? Are you not entertained? Guys. Honestly, we're about to start needing some gladiator shit here in a minute because you know, the NFL's dying now.
Is it?
No, I don't know. I'm joking about, but like that's what people are saying. Apparently,
like we're getting like safer every year with all that, and eventually, it just won't even be fun to watch anymore. But
oh, I know. Hey, how great is that? When football's actually like finally going to be safe for the players, everyone's going to stop watching.
like watching a UFC fight, like somebody might get hurt, like you know, or even like a NASCAR race. Like I was sitting watching NASCAR with some some of my friends' family. They're NASCAR fans, and we were watching a race, and really you're just, I mean, like you're hoping somebody gets into a car wreck so it gets interesting. Otherwise, you're just watching people do lap after lap after lap.
They're making a left turn. Honestly, one of the greatest moments of my life, seeing a left turn. Is there really a greater thrill? It's the same with, dude.
And I had a lot of fun. Like going to the races, I had a lot of fun. Watching on TV, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense.
First of all, at the race, you were getting drunk with a bunch of hillbillies. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah. Like, come on, who doesn't want to get drunk with a bunch of hillbillies? Like, obviously that's fun. Like, have you ever been to Arkansas?
They're great at it. They're very good at getting drunk. Yeah,
they're professionals. Like, see. God gave everybody their skill. You know, he don't make no junk. And those hillbillies, they know how to get fucked up. Word is bond.
and I got redneck in my background too. So I mean, you know, I can relate a little bit too. So just makes it that much easier to have a good time.
See, I just get down with the hillbillies from time to time, but me, myself, I identify as a hick. And so, yeah, that's a bit more where my lineage is like. Well, because you know, my family's from New Orleans, yeah, like I don't know how much time you've been out there, but yeah, I mean, you just find some hick shit to get up to if you out by the swamps. That's what it is.
I haven't really been out there, but I've been to Texas, but we didn't do no hick shit.
What part of Texas? I've been all over Texas.
We were in Austin. My mom's Longhorn. We went to San Antonio. San Antonio is pretty cool to visit. And I want to say
I really like San Antonio.
San Antonio's
yeah.
Austin.
It's wicked. You said what?
Austin's cool too, though.
Oh yeah, no, Austin's fun. That's where they have XSSW, and California
is a college town though.
Yeah. Californians are actually migrating over to Austin by the droves. Austin's
before the whole flooding thing happened. Houston was getting all kinds of Californians.
Yeah, Austin's like mini hippie Cali now. mini hippie Californication all the way.
Oh man, we're way off topic now.
Yeah, we're a little bit out of topic. But speaking of Texas and stuff, let's talk about like maybe perhaps dating people. Because California and Texas, right? They're very different states. Obviously, very different values that are instilled and and sought for with it to a large degree in certain communities. And what do you think about like relationships, like dating as in regards to dating someone with like your particular values? And that, because I was watching Ben Shapiro's show that recently. I always watch the show now, but like he was saying about like how like with relationships, like you should align with someone who like shares the same values as you. And I think there's a degree to that, but I don't think really necessarily. Well, what do you think on that? Like, would you date a girl who doesn't share the same values with you? And if so, why is that? If not, like, what are you willing to give some lenience?
No, I think if I only dated girls with the same values as me, I would have never had a girlfriend.
Right? Yeah.
But
I fox with that. I fox with that. Yeah, I can relate. Go on.
I feel like every relationship is a give and take, and it's all about how much you're willing to give and how much you have to take.
Yo, that was one of the most simply profound things I've heard in a while. Like,
I'm 3 years in right now. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh shit! Like you hit it.
This is when I'm at my greatest right here.
Stop it!
I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that give and take.
I'm being kind of dumb though. That was halfway joking. But
only the best are dumb. I think honestly, that some of the most genius things are like the things that will like sound retarded at first glance to like most people. Like whatever, like obviously, duh. You know what I mean? Like you'll get that response from the same motherfucker. Then they'll come back like years later, like they're like, yo, like, so my philosophy on life is this, like, motherfucker, that's exactly what I told you. It's so fun.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of that, so I mean, I know how it feels.
Yeah, man. What stupid is, the stupid does, man. People ain't be knowing.
I don't even like to use the word stupid. I prefer ignorant. I don't
get what you mean. Well, I'm ignorant to your difference of stupid and ignorant.
I don't think most people are dumb. I think most people are just ignorant. Like not. I shouldn't even say most people. I mean like people that say I'm right about something, and somebody else disagrees with me. I'll let them, just because I know that they're not necessarily stupid. They haven't gotten to the point in life where I'm at, or to where what I'm saying makes sense. That's ignorance. They just don't understand you.
And then, so how do you go about bridging that gap? Because there's some people who try to like, like force you to know, like, which is like, that like very like you can't like I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous to me, but like there's a lot of people who like actually like think this, like I need to teach that person, like and they have this like forced compassion.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't work. It never works. Yeah, if somebody's younger than me or just not at that stage that I'm at, I try to recognize it and just, be supportive of where that person is at that point in time for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or they could be older than me and more mature than me, and I have to recognize that I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about now, and I need to listen to this person.
Right. So, but my question is then, how do you like I like that response, because that's very like a very like easygoing, like it's just like get in life type of way to look at it. But my question would be like, how do you then bridge that gap? Because
it is. I let them learn. I'll let them go figure it out on their own. I'm not here to teach. I don't give a shit. You gotta figure that out all on your own. That's on you.
But don't you think that's I don't know, because see me, like I'm very like compassionate and that, like where it's like and I hope, because I hold your sentiment as well. Right. like sometimes like I'll do it like kind of like figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's the name of the podcast. Like what the fuck are these two talking about? Figure it out. I don't know. But yeah, but also like I have of course that compassion of like, okay, well fuck, like, because like the in the other set, like, because we're all ignorant in different ways, right? And everyone may not be as savvy as to what they're ignorant in, but oh, like look at me, I'm so self-aware and I'm acknowledging my ignorance. No, but like how then?
I try to speed up the process, perhaps, of them figuring some out. But I want the person, whoever the person may be, I want them to figure it out on their own. I don't want to help them.
That's because you can't
productive when I try to explain something to somebody when they're not ready to understand it.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah. Well, because the whole thing is like, if you try to do the learning for someone, then they don't fucking learn. And then, and then it just becomes this crutch. Now they're dependent on you to like figure it out for them. Mm-hmm. But like, of course you want, it's gotta be, basically it boils down to, there's no growth unless we all grow. Right. And for human growth, it's that tug of war of where like, we're growing together. And so like, all right, this is what help me reach it. And then this is what I know, how could I help you reach it? That's my sense of like compassion on that, of then just like, all right, well, this person needs to figure this out. But like, sometimes I feel like, it's always messy, I guess, but I've just seen how
it's all situational. There's certain situations where I might feel like I have to help this person understand this right now. And then there's other situations where it's like they'll be all right on their own. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100%. Because with that, and it's stuff.
That's not even to put myself above anybody else when I'm talking about teaching somebody something, because that same person that I might be trying to teach something to could probably teach me plenty of things as well. And I
exactly
have to be open to that as well.
Yeah, and going back, that's why I was looking into it of like, all right, what can I learn from this person? What can I take from it? And I think that's like, if you go into relationships like that, I think that's one of the tough thing about how our generation is with relationships nowadays. They've been so force fed of just like fucking, thinking that their opinion, undeserved like heightened sense of their opinion, to where like they project what they want onto other people, rather than like, all right, what can I gain from this person? Because not only like do you have to seek out what you want in a relationship, but you have to also seek out, all right, how can I be good for them in the relationship? And I feel like with a lot of millennials, it's one-sided. They're like, I want girls to be like this, or I want guys to be like this. Mm-hmm. I want them to have this kind of job, this smart.
That's a hard thing for us too, because we have access to everybody in the world now, whereas before, even 50 years ago, you only knew the people that you ran into on the street, the people that you met like in person. But now you have access to everybody because of the internet. And so the grass always seems greener on the other side. No matter what you have, the grass always seems greener on the other side. And so it's always like, and that's still like like you could be doing better, and that's what you're comparing yourself to. So it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, building on that, where you're just saying like, then like, not that grass is greener aspect. It's so, that's such like a, like a egotistical and like condescending thing to do with someone who, like a relationship, whether if it's romantic or a friendship, to just be like, well, what's better out there? Instead of being appreciative of that relationship, you're looking at it into terms of like, well, what can be better, rather than taking value in that person that's immediately there with you and for you. Right. It's so it's just really like, I think that mentality is deep right now, and it's tearing people up, and it's gonna continue to do so.
At like what, like an all-time high, like 50-something, 60% or something like that, something crazy. That's the reason it's so hard to even find somebody worth marrying, because you're always thinking like, oh, there might be somebody better. If I just wait a little bit longer, maybe I'll find somebody else that's a little bit better. But none of that really matters. Like you find somebody that you enjoy spending time with, somebody that you find attractive, and you enjoy being around, and you marry that person. It's that simple. Like, it should be that simple,
right? It should be that simple. But everyone complicates things needlessly nowadays.
And because of all of that, I'm not even interested in getting married to anybody, because it puts pressure on the relationship. It puts pressure on every relationship that you have with everybody else around you, and it does nothing but apparently cause problems and make lawyers money.
Tying back into that, the whole sense in family. So I think to like really have like relationships thrive again and whatnot, we need to invest more, instead of like, buying into all this shit and like, well, if I just like stay on this path of just like me and then I'm like this successful person, then I'll have like my pick of the litter. Well, no, not really. Cause like, first of all, your career, like corporations don't give a fuck about you. You can give your whole life and hard work for 25 years only for, a corporation to drop you with like a stipend that'll barely last you a month, so I think instead what people need to do is invest in themselves by learning how to become a greater family member, and because we need to rebuild that bond of strong families. And if on the guy's side of learning how to build that responsibility and that fortitude to be a strong husband, and on the woman's side a strong wife, and then of being like what would be good for a wife, and what would be good for a husband, rather than what would be good just for like to be attracted by women, or be attracted by guys, and like selling yourself out for that. Right. I think rather we need to grow ourselves to set us up to be a strong spouse, and that's what's going to provide that sustaining meaningful relationships, because otherwise the other stuff is fleeting and trivial. And so so if we put,
people always talk about like, oh, trying to impress this girl, trying to no, you should be yourself, act like yourself, and you'll find people that are interested in you exactly the way you are. Instead of trying to run this whole show for everybody, be yourself. And the ones that are interested in you, they'll come to you, and then you have your pick out of that group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You could please people, and if you do that, then you pretty much lose your self-worth and your self of individualistic identity. You're not a fucking independent woman if what you're doing is to please men, or like or to be an independent woman. You know what I mean?
Same to men. I see guys put on shows too. Like everybody puts on this show to try to act like there's somebody that they're not. It's like just be your. People will find people that are like-minded, that are interested in what you're interested in. Just be yourself, and things will work out in the long run.
Unless your self sucks though. So that's what I'm saying. And a lot of people, like, not to be mean, but that's just the truth of it. And
well, you can reinvent.
There's many faults that we have as humans, right? And so you're
still going to be yourself, and in the long run, if you pretend to be one way and really you're another way, the relationship is never going to work, because
unless depending on how long you want to perpetuate that lie. But that's
talking about marriage.
That's not exactly. That's not healthy for any sustaining relationship. You're gonna fucking blow your brains out one day. It's not like
your spouse is gonna blow their brains out, or
exactly.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
It leads to nowhere promising. With that harsh truth though that I stated, it's not dependent mutually exclusive from that growth. So it's like, yeah, you suck. So build yourself up to be a strong spouse, and then like, so then you can have that growth to grow with another person in a healthy, sustaining way, you know, rather than that pleasure with just that quick fix, which is not a fix though. It's just a greater crash later on.
You know what? I think there's a time and a place for the quick fix, but yeah, it's not usually the best idea.
Well, because there's the law of diminishing returns too. Because like if you choose to just value yourself rather than trying to grow yourself to be a good spouse, then by the time then you're ready and you're like, okay, then you do these sacrifices and you decide to like be lonely and miserable until you're 40. Well, then, your pick of the linen is going to be much shorter. Like it took you a while to get around, and now like you don't have the same options, and then now you have no choice but to settle. Whereas if instead, like, no, get your act together when you're young and start making the steps that you need to be a strong spouse instead of only a strong and instead of only putting the value within your ego of what you think you should be and how you think your partner should be, instead of that projecting of the way you want things to be and making the sacrifices early so that you can build to that. I think everyone would be a lot more beneficial from that.
And that's easier for us as males to say, because like we can.
What do you think it's easier as males?
We can still have kids when we're 60, but women are on like a timeline. They're like, I only have kids up to this point, and then after that, I have to live with that decision, whatever decision. Like I could change my mind at 75 if I'm still alive at 75, and be like, you know what, I don't want to have kids, and just make some.
You're an asshole. It was just like, you're like, fucking baby, I got time. You wait on me. No, yeah. So like, it makes it especially harsh so for women that they need to.
I got to
get on the ball.
Now I got to find the right guy. Now. I got to find him. If I can't find him, I'm gonna find a guy that's malleable, and I'm gonna make him into the right guy.
Oh God, isn't that the worst? And
I've found women like that, and they thought that I was that guy because I'm patient. People think I'm nice, and nice is the wrong word. I'm patient.
Right? Oh my God, dude, you hit the. We're very alike in that way. You hit the nail on the head with that one for me. Oh, it's like, yeah.
Like, oh, you're so nice. Like, no, I'm really patient. You're irritating.
Yeah. Like, no, it's like I have the patience and the and the manners to not be like, hey, you're fucking terrible.
I'll let you drive that car into that wall. I don't give a shit. I'll just.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're exposing how mean I am.
Yeah, dude.
I have no compassion there. Like, but like I'm joking. Also, there's a point to everything, right? There's levels and degrees to everything. I always say this, and with that, it's that. Eventually, like, if someone's drowning and they're trying to pull you down with them, then like, no, you kick that motherfucker in the face so that they're not on like, no, don't let it happen, because they will. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there who would love for you to drown with them, and And that's me. You just gotta let go. You gotta let go and be like, hey, no, you can't come on my boat because you're trying to tip it over. And like this is the only route that's out here. So
I think about it too. Sometimes I'm like, I dare somebody to just test me on that every once in a while. Just because I kind of want to kick somebody in the face to get them away from me. I won't just do it to some random person. I need a reason to kick them in the face first. You know, I can't.
Right. No, like, because sometimes that's the only way. Like, going back to your point of like, I'm not nice, I'm patient. Like, yeah, like there'll be a lot of motherfuckers who think like, oh, he's so nice, like, so I could get away with it because it's him. And it's like, no, motherfucker, I'm the last person you should try that with. Cause cause I'm a cold motherfucker. Like I will, like, if I need to, I will forcibly remove you from my life. Like harshly. Like here's the fucking, you know, here's the machete, you know, I'm hacking your hand off. Like, let go of me. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Cause like the only way I could be sure that I'm doing a positive here is to forcibly remove you because you are negative and toxic. Yeah. Like, and I'll like, just like, boom, drop it. End of.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I think that was a good segment though. We're almost up to that hour point here.
Put in over now between the first half hour and this.
Yeah, you wanna finish it off with any last sentiments or closing wise words of Steven Stopper?
Oh man, that one kind of ended a little harsh, and I might have sounded a little cold, maybe. I do mean well. Like I want the people around me to be happy. I don't want them to be upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My point was, if you're trying to fuck with me, like I'll fuck with you. You know, we can play that, but really, like, I want to have a positive, you know, relationship with every person that I meet. I want to have a positive impact on the people that I meet. You know, I want to do good. I don't want to hurt people, but
don't push me, motherfucker.
Everybody needs a nemesis, though, right? So, mine. Don't be that. Don't try to feel that void. All right. But yeah. No,
and to all of you out there listening, if any of you have a void to fill, I would be so happy to kill it and then eat it.
But as far as what the whole podcast is about, you know, just how things have changed over the past 10 years. I mean, it's all relative, really. I mean, you think about, I haven't even been alive for 3 decades yet, and I'm talking about the last 10 years. It's not even a third of my life yet, but just the changes that I've gone through just as an adult is I mean, it's pretty extreme. I'm not the same person that, you know, that because you and I were, you know, when you and I were in college and partying it up. I'm not that same person. I mean, like, still Steven, but I'm a more mature Steven. You know?
Yeah.
I've learned a lot between then and
now. Which gives me a good quote popped in my head from that, because I've been listening to a lot of POS recently, and he has this one where he's like, "You didn't get mature, you got tamed." So yeah, people need to remember that, like, because it ain't the same. It ain't the same at all. A lot of motherfuckers get tamed. Unfortunately, not everyone matures.
Right now either song. Like, I don't think anybody's tamed me yet.
Everything you do it with purpose, you know, because yeah, like everyone, even if it's just, you know, like we said, like the random dude you bump into at the store or whatever, like everyone is so fucking valuable and worth so much. So like you should treat them as such, because, you know, I mean, like, you know, if you do the opposite way, if you treat someone, you know, like they're not worthy or something, like, yeah, I mean, just see the hell that brings to your life. You know. Like, yeah, everyone is worth so much. Because everyone is of so much worth. So yeah. So I think that's the basic building principles of just, yeah, relationships all around.
I was just talking about how small we were at the beginning, and we're talking about how big we are at the end.
I gotta put a nice little bow on it, you know? It's gotta. I think that's good. We'll end it there then. The podcast went full circle.
All right, man.
All right. Love and light.
Yeah. Till next time.
It takes these trials to triumph, and true, can we see through the glass darkly at the final hour?
I can't breathe in the space that's filled with your sound. Can't call a spade in this town. Dug a hole